Hope you enjoyed this one. This is Southern Ass Game through of Naruto Shippuden in episode 429. Killer Bees Rappuden Part 1. As you can guess, this arc is gonna be about Killer Bee. Basically the story of his life. The story of his life. Last time we got the first time we got Yamato, last time was Tenten. This time is Killer Bee. And it's good that we got to see some Killer Bee. But even though no, it's been a little awkward, but let's start with the story. Apparently, in this story, this version, Jinchuriki are basically isolated, and they're not considered humans, and they're basically kept in cages, basically confined in like a jail, just for being what they are. So basically, they're treated like crap. Uh, this this doesn't go so well for them until Killer Bee decides he wants to break them out and form a team of Jinchuriki. He, he. Also, we get to see the tailed beasts. The tailed beasts, they're not inside them in this version of the story. And inside of them, they're like hanging by their shoulders, like on their shoulders, and they're smaller in size. So basically, he like a smaller version of the tailed beast on their shoulder. You know how in most anime you get in animes you have like certain main characters they get like a sidekick. It's like that. And, and also they look like what they look like in their baby form. Remember when we got flashbacks of the sages his past and after Naruto first became one with the nine tails and called him Kurama. We got to see the flashback of the sages his past, him talking to them, Hail Beast, him telling them that one day soon the world would change, and Kurama crying. It looks like it looks like them in their baby form, like in their youngest form, when they were all being divided into pieces. Just in him giving them that speech. And also, from what I could see, they don't have their original strength. I mean, they're Jinchuriki, they're connected, but they don't have their original strength. Hey, apparently, this is all some kind of plot by the Akatsuki. Apparently, they managed to have stolen their abilities. They've stolen the powers of the tail beast to use to their own nefarious plant, and and they're gonna use them for their own goal, like basically. Hey, but they wanted to stop them. They're gonna need all nine tailed beasts. Hey, not to mention the fact that they're also gonna need help from a princess who has the power to help them and in this fight. What is this princess? I have no idea. No idea. Uh, there are certain things in this episode I like, but there's some that are a bit off. There are certain there are certain moments that come in. For example, Naruto ramen, Ichiraku ramen. We all know Naruto loves ramen. But the question is, how the hell does Killer B know? I mean, we all know that when you fist bumps with Killer B, when Jinchuriki has control over their wits and their tail beast power, they can communicate mind to mind with someone. So basically, they brought that back, and they brought that Naruto complaining, whining, and I want my ramen. But that was mostly for comic relief. But you understand, man. We get to see Gara in this, even though Gara and B are exactly friends, and it's not friends, and Gara, he's a bit strict, and certain he's level-headed, and basically he's like the Gara we know, but he's been confined in a cage, and he's not Kazekage. He's a Kage. And we also get to see another Jinchuriki, Yugito Nin, the Two Tails, and her tail beast, Matatabi, the Two Tails cat spirit, the Wraith, basically. Basically, they're trying to form the Jinchuriki force to try to combat this. Yes, I like this episode in certain ways because this thing could have shown. This is like a what if of what happened. Think about it. In all of the villages, Jinchuriki are treated as outcasts because of their power, and the strength of the tailed beast they carry within him, because of fear that they couldn't control it. Like for example, if you guys have not read the manga, I will not spoil it for you, but certain Jinchuriki have been feared and isolated because of what they are. Some has been kept confined in solitary confinement, not allowed any human contact, only alone in the entertainment with just them and their tail beast sealed inside it. And the only human contact they ever had was when someone brought them food. And if you guys watched the episode and read, remember that old man who was the Jinchuriki host before for Gara of Shikaku, the One Tail? The same thing. And I like this episode because it takes some of the quirky notes of certain because of some from the Naruto universe, like for example, Tsunade's gambling problem. We get to see Yamato again, and like certain aspects that you liked in the past. As you know, that complement the series, but they're doing it in their own unique way. And also, Conqueror's puppet. Yeah, puppet. However, things for them are not going to be easy because they have to go from village to village and to break out all nine-tailed beasts. And they're not doing this alone. They're gonna have to fight for it, a big fight, because they're being pursued by a shinobi from other villages, because they're Jinchuriki, they're feared and isolated. Even though they don't have their original strength, and they don't care. So if you're a Jinchuriki, you're considered dangerous and considered isolated. Oh, they had Naruto in a in one of the Hokage's heads. It's Tsunade's mouth. How her mouth is open and her teeth are gently but metal bars. Like seriously, I'm seriously. How's that right? And Naoko was making such a racket and shut and making. I'm gonna be Hokage someday, and the only thing that would have shut him up was ramen. But I think I'm giving away too much. Anyway, this whole anyway, this is also anyway the Jinchuriki are considered the enemy by the public. And the true enemy is the Akatsuki, which we get to see in this episode. We get to see Itachi, Deidara, and Sasori. We get to see um, and it's a good it's a good fight, and it's only leading up to what's going to happen next in the real fight. But we saw from this, but I saw what we saw from this episode. This is just part one. This whole Rappuden art is just part one. So basically, so Killer Bee now he has to make sure his mission succeed. Otherwise, the Akatsuki are gonna dominate the world. And this is Killer Bee's fantasy. Even though he doesn't know this, part of him knows that this isn't real. I mean, hell, Ten when she was under the Genjutsu, she didn't believe it. Then there was Yamato, and he started to have doubts, but they both slowly accepted the world and started to fade into it. I think the more and more you're exposed to the effects, the more your will seems to surrender to the infinite Tsukuyomi. I mean, and the only people who are not affected are the Resident Hokage, and Naruto, Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke because of Sasuke Susanoo and his Renegon power. And God for now they have Sasuke as an ally. Otherwise, anyway, I gotta admit I did like this episode. Even though it's filler and a lot of people don't like filler, but they're dragging out the story to make room for the main fight. Even though I want to see the main fight, I want to see it so badly. I do, but we'll get to the point. But enough of but I'm sad to say that we're not gonna get to the main story this week or probably next week. We probably got another month or so, not another 2 months of filler, I think. And because with all this stuff that's gonna go on like basically it's gonna be very hard, to come to terms with this because with everything that's happening now, thing. Anyway, this could lead to something very interesting. This could be an interesting fight. What do you think? Hey, do you like it? Do you hate it? Comment on this video. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think I prattled on too long? Did you hate it? Give me your opinion. Comment below. Comment below. Give me your opinion. Like it or hate it or not. Anyway, this is Solomon Adams giving you on Naruto Shippuden episode 429. Looks like this is Killer Bee's day. And I gotta admit, it is a bit interesting. Anyway, that's all I got. Bye. There are waters in Nanaparbat. They prove
permitted Roz to live for over 100 years. And in rare instances, told in legend goes